who has a lot of this thought in his soul. You know, somebody who has developed this whole thing for years and years and years at the Neemrana group of hotels is Mr. Aman Nath. And what I would like Mr. Aman Nath to do is to give us some anecdotes of how these things are moving in both the directions. Mr. Aman Nath.
More than anecdotes, I think that France and India are very similar in many ways, even though on the face of it, when you meet a Frenchman and you don't know the language, you would think that language would separate you. But civilizationally, India and France are very close. We are two countries who are not insecure at all about our existence because we've had a great civilizational past. So the countries which are newer, perhaps richer, can tend to be a bit more upstartish. So what happens, what is common with Indians and French is that we spend all our time criticizing ourselves. But when somebody else criticizes us, we are up in arms against them. So that is a very curious phenomena. We all know that there are parts of Delhi which are dirty. We are allowed to say it. We say it among ourselves. But when the Queen of England drives through and she made just a small comment somewhere that she found Delhi was dirty, it was headlines and said, we are not dirty and so on. And the French are exactly the same. If you meet French people intimately, they complain about their government. They complain that nothing works, even though we think everything works. And when one American newspaper would say something mildly rude about France, everybody's up in arms against them. So I think that kind of bond is interesting, because when we are out of our country, then we like everything. We love everything about France. And when the French come here, they like everything about India. It's curious, you know, if you go to the quaintest places in Rajasthan, up on a hill in a little temple, in the visitors book, you'll find lists and lists of French people's names. And you wonder, why would the French who don't speak Hindi come to a village in, you know, in some remote part of Marwar and enjoy that? Because they are civilizationally very evolved, and they want a real experience. They don't want things packaged for them, things which are asepticized, you know, things which are faked. So I think that is an interesting observation. Another one I'd like to make is, 40 years ago, France did a big campaign in the American market. There was a beautiful photograph of the French countryside with an Eiffel Tower parked there. And they said, will we have to build an Eiffel Tower in every part of France to show you the rest of France? And that hurdle has been crossed now. People are going to other places, and now there's a reverse snobbery. You say, oh, you're going to see the Eiffel Tower. That's not what, you know, you should be seeing. You should be going to the south of France. You should be, you know, tasting, or you're going to Champagne and see how champagne is made and so on. I think in that kind of interaction lies the future of both India and of France, that we grow from the first degree to the second and to the third. And it's not a small miracle, as His Excellency said, that, you know, you cross your own population. Imagine if the Indian tourism figure was 1.5 billion. You know, it's unthinkable. But they do it with such a style. They do everything, you know, way ahead of the world. You know, when they were selling water, Perrier, people used to wonder, how can you sell water? It's like selling ice to the Eskimos. But they did it, and the future wars are going to be about water and not about petrol. So I think there is a vision also that France has, and there's a lot that India should learn from that and partner with.